Hello, everyone. I hope you are having a lovely Wednesday evening if you are watching this live. Beautiful mid-June, June 18th, my wife's birthday. Soon, very excited to celebrate with her. Juneteenth is tomorrow, which is a very, for some reason we get it off now, but it's great that we're celebrating it. It is a thing in the United States. If you're curious, look it up. But we've done some really bad things here, and we are trying to make up for it, basically. Well, let's see. How's the stream? Everything looks good? Looks pretty good? Looks pretty good? Yeah, everything looks good. Everything is super hot here in North Carolina. It is the worst time of year. It is extremely hot, and we're trying to not melt. I see a lot of people trying to skate in the middle of the morning, like 8 a.m., which is ridiculous to me, but it is what it is. Busy time at the shop. We are shipping and shipping and shipping. Lots of big orders going out. If your skate shop doesn't have stuff, let us know. We would love to make sure that they are well equipped for summer. And yeah, it looks like everything's going good. So I'm hoping for a good stream. Shouldn't be too long today. Want to cover a few things. See a lot of people posting about coming back and want to make sure that they are taken care of. Answered questions if they have any. And yeah, just talk about what's been going on in my life. It's been a while, so it's about time for an update. Everybody is looking good here. Looks like the chat is working. Looks like the audio is working. And yeah, let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome to Gear Talk episode 137. 137. I've done this 137 times. That is ridiculous. It baffles me how many times, how many hours that I've spent creating videos for the YouTube. And what do I get out of it? Love, hugs, I don't know. Whenever I see you, I always get happy. You as the user or the viewer out there. But it is a very strange little platform. You don't really... It's a mixed bag because it has such a wide range of people who watch it. You never know what you're going to get in the comments, but that hasn't stopped me yet. Good comments, bad comments. I am still out here making content. 137 episodes of Gear Talk. That's 6 years worth of episodes. Been doing it for a long time. Very excited to be here this week. Gear Talk is the show that I try to do every other week. It has been about once a month nowadays. As I am no longer reviewing skates, no longer reviewing products because I make competing products in a lot of those categories, and I don't want to review something if I make something that competes with it. That just doesn't seem fair. I would either be biased in one way or biased in the other way. It's hard to be unbiased. So I don't make reviews anymore. I don't really test products, but I love to talk skating, and this is my chance during the week to take a break from my 9 to 5 and really get nerdy about skate gear. If this is the sort of thing that interests you, we try to do this every other Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, live on YouTube. If you are interested in joining us, 9 p.m. Eastern, follow the Instagram. That's probably the best place to learn ahead of time if I'm going to be doing a live stream. I usually post on Tuesday of that week that I'm going to be going live, and then Wednesday I let y'all know. Or I should say I do the show on Wednesday, so I let you know on Tuesday. So follow on the Instagram. I do post to the Facebook, but I am not there very often anymore. I don't know if it's a sign of the times or what, but I spend a lot of time on Instagram and not a lot of time on Facebook. I do look at pictures of my friends from high school and things like that, but more and more I'm spending time away from Facebook. I think that's just the way that it goes sometimes. Anyway, Gear Talk is the show we do where we talk about the geekier side of rollerblading. If you're interested in optimizing your session, every time you go out there and skate, your wheels are dialed, your frame setup is dialed, you've got the right equipment so that you can have the best skate possible. The only thing you can blame is yourself. You can't blame the equipment if you watch Gear Talk, because we'll help you get your equipment to a point where you don't have anything to worry about. You'll have the best royale angle for your ability. You'll have the best wheels for whatever terrain you're battling that day, and the best setup so that you can skate mini ramp transition or ledges or big wheels or whatever you have in mind. We'll make sure that you're ready for it. Like I always do, I want to start this episode by thanking our friends over at the Helmet Initiative for our helmet giveaway. I actually had a friend who fell and hit their head just a few weeks ago. It was a few weeks ago, almost a month ago now. Stuff happens, man. It is hard to not hit your head. And I know that it is, everybody knows this now. You go out there and there is the implied risk that you are going to hit your head. You are going to get hurt when you go skate. It is just the thing that happens. I am encouraging you to invest in a helmet. I think it is important that you protect your head. I think if you fall down and you hurt your wrist, you hurt your knees, you hurt your back, it sucks, but it's not the end of the world. If you hit your head, it could be the end of your world. And I don't want anybody to get super injured just because they were out rollerblading and they tripped on a crack, or somebody got in their way, or the coping was sticky, or there was a rock on your trail. All of this sort of thing is out of your control. I trust that you are a good skater. This is a good skater. I know plenty of great skaters who have fallen, just tripped over things and hit their head. I know that helmets aren't the most sexy thing. Come to grips with it. You are an adult on rollerblades. You are not the most sexy thing either. Taking out a little bit of insurance, putting a helmet on your head every time you go out in there and skate is the right thing to do. Now, whether it feels good or not, that's beside the point. Whether you're going to do it or not, that's beside the point. What I'm here to do is to help you get a helmet. I will encourage you to wear it if you cannot afford a helmet. You'd rather invest 40, 50 bucks into a set of wheels, or you need new wrist guards, or if you need, I don't know, new sole plates or something like that. I totally understand it. A helmet is the last thing that you want to spend money on because you don't actually get use out of it until you need it. If this is you and if you need a helmet, can't afford a helmet right now, let me know. Backtoblading.com/helmet is the place to go. Let me paste a link. Tink, tink, tink. Paste a link in there. Backtoblading.com/helmet is the place to go. Put in your information. Let me know that you need a helmet. I am here to help you. If you are in the US, we have 888 Sweat Savers certified helmets. Here at the warehouse, I will send a helmet to you. We pick one person at random for every episode of Gear Talk. If you are outside of the US, make sure that you have a way that you can get digital currency, whether that is PayPal or Venmo. I don't know of any other good way to send it. I am not getting into the Bitcoin world. If that's you, cool, but you probably have 50 bucks, so don't worry about it. But make sure that you have a way that you can accept digital currency, because I'm going to send you some money so that you can buy a helmet in a local skate shop. Not only are you helping your local environment, your local community, but it is expensive to send a helmet overseas. Not only do I have to pay, 20, 30 bucks to get it out, but you're going to have to pay, how many 20% VAT or, 15% import tax. It is not a cheap endeavor. So I'm going to try to get you some money so that you can buy a helmet locally. If you live in an area where $50 is more than you need for a helmet, buy your friend a helmet. Buy yourself some new set of wheels as well. Just make sure that you get yourself a helmet. It is important that we get more people wearing helmets out there. The more people that are wearing helmets, the less weird it's going to be when you feel like you want to wear a helmet. I wear a helmet every time I go skate. I'm usually the only person in our group that goes out and skates with a helmet. I'm absolutely fine with that, but I'm 48 years old. If you are younger, maybe you're less inclined to wear a helmet. Totally get it. It is not a weird thing to do. You always see people wearing helmets when they ride bikes. There's no reason that they're any different. They're falling off of a bike, you're falling off of rollerblades. It is the same issue, so make sure that you protect yourself. I also want to thank our friends over at the Patreon for helping me with our helmet giveaway. The Helmet Initiative sends us helmets, but in order to get some money so that we can mail them out to people, I get some donations on our Patreon, patreon.com/backtoblading if you want more information. This is a thing that if you want to support the channel, it is a great way to do so. It is not a thing that I would recommend if you are a student, if you are a single parent and you need to save up some money for Christmas or anything like that. I don't need your money. This is something that is helpful for the channel. It is not imperative for the channel to operate. So take care of yourself first. If you got a little bit of extra money, feel free to send it my way. It will go to a good use. But patreon.com/backtoblading. People ask, how can I help the channel? That's the way to do it. I don't do a lot of special content there. Whenever we have a podcast, I will post a little early there. Very rare for me to do anything exclusive on the Patreon, just setting the level. There's nothing special about the Patreon, but if you're looking at a way to support the channel, that is the way to do it. And again, our friends over at the Helmet Initiative, thank you so much for sending us some helmets so that we can give them away so that more people can be protected when they go out there and skate. A little bit of housekeeping. Oh, Jeff. Hey, Jeff. 2 helmets tonight. I just saw that come in. Jeff Metz, always our favorite helmet giver. He's been donating helmets to us for years now. Whenever he can reach a live stream, he always jumps on and gives us enough. So there will be 2 helmets given away tonight. Seriously, if you need a helmet, let me know. We might even give away helmets to everybody that asks. It's the sort of thing that I want to make sure that if you actually ask for a helmet, you can actually get a helmet. So let me know. Backtoblinking.com/helmet. Thank you, Jeff. Backtoblinking.com/helmet is the place to go. Let me know if you need a helmet. We'll help you out if we can. Let's see. What do I want to do first? Let's do some housekeeping first, and then I'll talk about my current setup. I'm very happy because I'm able to skate again. I'm actually able to make videos again, as you might have seen. But first, the boring stuff. I want to talk a little bit about new products that we've got. It is something that keeps the lights on, keeps me able to make cool products, the business side of things. It is important that I keep you up to date on things. It is a difficult time right now. The tariffs are a serious issue here in the United States. So we are hit with 10% tariffs everywhere in the world. We're hit with 30% tariffs from goods from China. I went into detail on how the tariffs worked, but in a nutshell, anything that you bring into the United States that has been made in China gets charged a tariff. So from anywhere we have to pay a tariff, but the biggest one right now is China. So if I import something as a company owner from China into the United States, I am paying, in addition to the shipping charges that it costs to use FedEx or to bring it over on a boat, and in addition to the amount of money that it costs me to make the product, I have to pay an additional 30% on top of that. So say a set of wheels costs $10 to bring, or $10 to make in China. That's not a real number, just a made up number to make the numbers easy. Say that I import, 10 sets of wheels, $100 that I'm spending to make wheels and bring them into the United States. I would have to pay an additional $30 as soon as they hit the border and hit the port, so that I could bring them in. So those wheels are now $130. Where it gets really difficult, and that sucks. First of all, that sucks. There are value-added taxes in places. There are duties in places. It is not an uncommon thing to have. The concern that we have as businesses in the United States is the unpredictability of tariffs. So it went from 0 tariffs. So last year there were no tariffs from China. So we could produce things in China. We invested heavily by building molds for wheels, molds for frames, molds for sole plates, molds for boots. All of those molds are over in China because it was our manufacturing area. There's no reason not to, and it is the only place in the world that you can get those molds made. They don't make them in the US. They don't make molds for stuff like that in the US. Overnight, there were tariffs. So now my products were 10% more expensive, and then 30% more expensive, and then 50% more expensive, and then 145% more expensive. The unpredictability of this is what is extremely frustrating for us. And as a business based in the US, that is the scary part that we're going into summer. To make matters worse, if you are a customer in the US and if you want to buy something, maybe you don't want to, if you want to get skates, every skate is made outside of the US. And as far as I know, there's no skates that are made in the US. There are skates that are made in Europe. Europe is at a 20% tariff right now, something like that. Can't even keep up. See, this is the thing. I can't keep up. Wherever the skates are made is the tariff that you will be paying. So if you're importing from Europe, not only are you paying, and they stack, they're not only paying the 30% from China. So if you bought from Loco, for example, you're not paying the 30% from China, you're also paying an additional 10% because you're importing something from the UK. But it was made in China, so you pay an extra 30%. And I'm paying on my cost. So my wheels, say they sell for 40 bucks, wholesale price is 20 bucks. I'm paying 10 bucks. When I'm importing into the US, I'm paying on 10 bucks. When you import to the US, set of wheels at $40, you're not paying on 10 bucks, you're paying on 40 bucks. So you import a set of wheels at $40, you're paying 30% on top of that. That is ridiculous. So we are doing everything that we can to mitigate this. Unfortunately, the odds are against us that we're going to be able to get out unscathed. There has been some legal updates that they've determined that these tariffs were put on illegally. So that doesn't change anything. Right now, they are still in use. So I am having to pay on the tariffs, but there is talk about us getting credited that. I don't know what the future holds, but suffice to say, this summer is going to be a bit weird for rollerblading in the United States. A lot of our manufacturing is done in China. We have a few different countries that we do manufacturing, including the United States. The China manufacturing is definitely slower because I just can't afford to bring in new stuff, and I don't want to front you with an expensive, piece of gear if it's going to cost you, 30% more, 40% more, 60% more as it ends up getting to wholesale or to the retail price. But we've still got stuff in stock. And one of the things that I'm trying to do, so that's the tariff situation in a nutshell. It sucks. One of the things I'm trying to do is figure out ways that I can supply customers outside of the US without having to bring products into the US. Now, this is actually a really big thing that I've been working on for about a year and a half. It might not feel big because I know a lot of us are in the United States, so it doesn't really matter to you. But I've been working with a company that does product fulfillment in Europe. They're based in Belgium. They have a huge warehouse, and they are my fulfillment partner. So we are opening up a European fulfillment center for balanced distribution. Now, what does that mean? It means that if you are currently trying to purchase products from balanced distribution, you have a few options. First, you can go to a local shop, and local shops are great, and I'm a big proponent of local shops. You should always go to the shop first. This doesn't change that. If your shop doesn't have the product, you have to order it from, and if you still want it, you have to order it from balanced distribution, direct. Ordering from the United States costs a lot of money. So shipping, import fees, VAT, all of that. We have tried to come up with ways to make it a little bit easier, but end of the day, it is a lot of money to import stuff into Europe from the United States. So what we are doing is we are sending a select group of products, some of the most popular products and the new products, directly to our fulfillment center in Belgium. So we're starting now with products that are currently in stock in the United States. So it's stuff that we haven't had to pay tariffs on. We have had to pay shipping, which is an expense that in the future we won't have to worry about. But we've got the products in stock, and if a shop can't bring in products, if the shop doesn't want to order products right now, maybe they aren't interested in carrying the products, we will have them available in our balanced distribution Europe, and they'll be able to ship direct from Belgium at a very low rate, and we will cover the VAT. So you can go to balanceddistribution.com, balancedist.com, and there's a link for Europe, and you can see the selection of products that are over there right now. We are adding more products every other week, and as things sell, we are restocking them so that we can always have products available there. Now, how does this work? The big unlock is that our shopping app, so Shopify, we use Shopify, integrates with a lot of different APIs. So we're able to connect our shopping app to not only our inventory, but any inventory of any other shops out there. And what we've done is we've set up a partner shop, in a sense, in Belgium. So we have a list of products, a list of inventory that are being stocked in Belgium. Depending on where you order, it will check to see your country. If you're ordering from Europe, it will give you prices in euros. It will give you access to all of the items, but you'll be able to see which items are stocked locally in Europe. And you will pay a $5 up to a maximum of $10 flat rate shipping, regardless of where you are in Europe. So it will ship from Belgium. If you're in the Netherlands, Belgium, or Germany, it is a €5 flat rate shipping. If you're outside of any of those three countries, it is a €10 flat rate shipping. We will be taking care of VAT on top of that. So the prices that you see are the prices that you pay. You won't have to worry about any additional taxes or anything like that. If you're in the UK, you can also order, but you will have to pay for the customs import fees. We are looking at solutions to make it easier for you to get things in the UK. But for now, it is primarily the EU that we're able to send products to. What do we have over there? So right now we've got boot-only Omni V2s, we've got the Yandis, and we've got the black V2s. We've got a bunch of the chroma wheels. So we've got the Yandi chroma wheels and the Stefan chroma wheels. If you need wheels, you can go over there. We've got a full supply of compass stuff. We just got our 90mm wheels in. So we've got the 90mm frames over there in white and black. They are frame only, or they are ready to roll. We got the 80mm frames over there. Same deal. We've got white and black frames ready to roll or frame only. I just sent out a shipment today with some of the Fitty Fitty product, so you'll be able to get frames, prime frames and balance frames. They will be over there in probably a week and a half. And it is completely seamless to you. So all that you need to do is get in there, find the product that you want, go to balances.com. I think it's, well, if you go to the main navigation, just click on Europe, you'll see it. And that will link you to a page that shows all of the products that are currently stocked over there. If you are a shop and if you're interested in carrying balance distribution stuff, this is also a way for us to supply you directly. So instead of having to import directly from the United States, which was always the difficult thing for shops to do if they're in Europe, we get a lot of interest from shops in Europe, but when they calculate shipping costs and import fees and all of that, it just doesn't make financial sense. We are able to supply you directly from our fulfillment center. So if you're interested, if you are a shop, please get in contact with me. There is a contact form at the bottom of our website. Let me know and I will get you an account so that you will have business pricing for those products. You are able to order as much as you want, same $10 or €10 flat rate shipping. So you'll be able to supply your shop over there. If there is something missing, this goes to shops and to regular skaters. If there's something that you want to purchase, but it is not in stock, let me know. There is a form at the bottom. Fill out the form. Tell me what you need. It takes about 2 weeks for me to get the barcodes printed up, the product packaged up, shipped over there, and then have them enter it into their system and into their fulfillment center. If you can wait 2 weeks, you will be able to pay normal Europe pricing, again with €5 to €10 flat rate shipping. I am extremely excited about this. Europe has always been my goal. When coming back, I had maybe 2 shops. I think this is Seoul and Hedon were the only shops that were able to pick up the Fitty Fitty products that we were making. And again, it is a huge market that we have a really difficult time getting into because it's so friggin' expensive. And everybody's always asked, why don't you have a distributor over there? Well, there's only a few distributors that you can work with, and they're kind of expensive. They take a big cut, and they should. They do a lot of work. I can do some of that work. I can contact shops. I can keep you updated on new products coming in. I can do all of the shipping. But what I can't do is the fulfillment. And that's one of the things that the distributor does. Now we can. So we can do all of the sales, we could do all of the order management, and then we can process the shipments and have them go straight out to your shop so that you can fill your store with balanced distribution stuff. The future, we will have the new products shipped directly to the fulfillment center. So they won't hit the United States. I won't have to pay tariffs on them. I won't have to pay additional shipping. It'll go straight to the fulfillment center. That means you'll be able to get them as a European customer at the same time as the United States customers will. So when we do our next pre-orders, you'll be able to pre-order direct from balancedistribution.com, and you'll be able to pay, the same $10 or €10 flat rate, and then we'll take care of VAT, and you'll get them as soon as the United States gets them. So they'll go straight to the fulfillment center from the factory, and then they will get distributed directly to you. You can see why this is exciting for me. Processing things, fulfilling things, importing, exporting, all of that is the bane of my existence as a brand. I just want to make cool skate stuff. And this has made my life so much easier. I think we went live 2 months ago. We've already had a couple shops place orders. We've had a couple customers place orders, and I haven't told a soul. So this is our official announcement. Balanced Distribution EU is now live. You can go to balancedist.com, click on Europe, and see all of the products over there. If there is a product that you're interested in purchasing that you see on the website, but you don't see on the Europe subsection, let me know. Within 2 weeks, I can have that available in Europe so that you can save a little bit of money, and we will continue to have it in stock if you need to restock, repurchase it, or if you've got friends who want to pick them up. Obviously, any questions or any suggestions for improvement, I would love to learn about more. I don't know a ton about this, but I have spent about a year putting in the work and working through the process. Huge thanks to my friend Camille over in the Netherlands for helping me find this fulfillment center and being my guinea pig while I tested shipments and made sure that things actually get to where he's supposed to be. It is a pretty seamless system. Within 24 hours of the order being placed, it is already moving through the fulfillment center, and within 4 to 5 days, the shipment is already delivered at your house. It is pretty amazing when you think about it. And again, $10 flat rate. It's a €10 flat rate. It is a pretty great system. So very excited about that. Looking forward to the future. Feedback appreciated. If there's anything missing, appreciated. And yeah, it's only the beginning. We're looking for more regions that we can expand to make it a lot easier for shops to get balanced distribution stuff and for customers to get balanced distribution stuff. Cool. What else do we got? You want to do current setup? I guess we can do one more thing. So we got real quick shout out to Mushroom Blading. We got our first big shipment in of wheels for the summer. These are the new Blade Gods wheels. They just dropped. I think they got here last week of May, first week of June. They are an 80 millimeter 85A wheel. They're the first black urethane that Mushroom Blading has made. They usually use their olive green kind of colory color. But this is a single print, the Blade Gods logo, 80 millimeter 85A. Really great. You saw their promo on their 80 millimeter Aeons. 80 millimeter 85A is my preferred hardness. It is a great size if you're just cruising around. They hold up really well to slides. It's a really durable urethane, good bounce to you. If you're looking for something a little bit harder, a little bit less grippy, you can go with the 87A Scribbles. They're also 80 millimeter. It's the same urethane. It is the same hub. It is just a different color and a different hardness. So 2 different options if you're looking for 80 millimeter. Some more stuff that's in production. 2 things that are in production now for probably July, maybe August. I think the 2 shipments should be here end of July. So look for those end of July, maybe beginning of August. It's going to be a pretty interesting summer. We've got good products. We've got good stock of product now, but restock is going to be a little slow. You're going to start seeing me run out of stuff, and that is deliberate. It just costs too damn much to bring stuff in as a restock right now. So if you can't find, for example, we're out of balance frames black in medium. So I can't bring them in because, again, if the tariffs are 30% up to 50%, that is going to raise the price to a point where I don't feel like it makes sense to bring in frames, especially knowing that as unpredictable as this in next month, they might be down to 10%. And then the following month, they might be up to 80%. Who knows how it's going to be? I can't take that risk right now. So you will just see things kind of running out of stock. If you're looking for something and you don't see it on our website, let me know. I'll be able to track down shops. I'll be able to pull reports and see where I sold things. And I can reach out to shops and see if they have any in stock. But it's going to be like this for a lot of brands. You know, I'm not the only one dealing with the tariff situation. Good used market this year. If you are trying to sell your skates, it's probably a good time to do it. Old stuff that you've got in your closet, this is definitely the time to move it. So something to think about if you're out there. But yeah, summer should be really interesting. I'm doing my best to keep up to things. Obviously, if you've got questions about stuff, please just message us, let us know. We are here to help. If you're a shop trying to get stuff in stock, message us, let us know. We are here to help. We do have good stock on Omni. We have good stock on most of our wheels, most of our frames actually. But there are ones and twos that we're going to start running out of, and it's going to be a little difficult to restock. All right, let's do this. You want to do current setup? I guess we could talk about my current setup. So I am very thrilled that I've been able to go out and skate a few times since I was here last. Let's see, I've done 2 videos since the last Gear Talk. I went to Durham, which was my first real session back, and then I went to Hillsboro, which is a new park for me, last weekend, 2 weekends ago. Had a great time. I got to be honest. I was not ready for how much I really missed skating. It is that thing that I'd done for so long. 5 years I went skating every weekend, and I made a video every weekend, and it was a thing that I did. It was part of me. And having to take a step back from that, I don't think I realized how impactful it was. It is a big deal to not be able to skate. And even though I was only down for 3 months, and then before then 4 months, and then before then 2 months, it adds up and it sucks. Thankfully, most of my tricks, baseline tricks, I still have. I'm still a fairly competent skater, but it's hard. The stamina isn't there. Jumping is hard to do. How do I put this? I didn't realize how much we jumped until I was sitting down taking a break watching people do, session this street spot like last month or whatever. There's so much jumping in this sport. You jump on a grind, you jump on a ledge, you jump on a curb, you jump off a ramp to get to a ledge, to jump on a ledge. You jump off stair sets, you jump for wall rides. Like, it is all jumping. It is just a jump, jump, jump. And no wonder when we get older, our knees are shot and our back is shot. It is nonstop jumping. So a couple of things that I've done. I mentioned that I actually did the video talking about my workout routine. I am on 125 days of doing 10,000 steps. And I have missed the way that I can calculate that, I can miss 1 day in a 7-day week. So I could take a day off. If I'm driving all day, then I'm obviously not going to be able to get 10,000 steps. It's a really difficult thing to do when you're sitting driving or if you're flying. But for 125 days with missing 1 day every 7 days, I've gotten 10,000 steps. And you wouldn't think that it would make that big of a difference, but the support that you give yourself when you're walking, just standing up. I spend so much time at my desk. Just standing up and walking around, even just walking at the grocery store, walking down the street, walking your dog, things like that. The support that your core gets just by standing, and then when you're walking, controlling your balance and moving your legs and everything, it is a huge difference. It made a huge improvement to my ability to skate. I'm able to lift up boxes now with no issues. I don't strain my back on anything. I haven't had any back problems whatsoever. Add to that, I am taking hot baths, twice a week, 3 times a week. Try to keep the muscles loose. I am doing a lot of stretching to make sure that I keep my muscles loose, make sure that I align things, make sure that all of the muscles are where they should be. But honestly, the biggest unlock was the steps. Getting 10,000 steps really helped my core. I can feel the difference in my body. Highly recommend the same to you. I think getting yourself active, getting yourself out there, whether it's 10,000 steps, whether it's using an Apple Watch and closing your rings every day, give yourself a goal, a measurable goal that you can look back at the end of the day, look back at the end of the week and see how you did this week. That is very important. If you have any concern over health or being able to sustain yourself, if you're already extremely active, maybe you're doing great. There's no reason to track for the sake of tracking if it's going to give you anxiety. For me, the way that I like to do it, I like more data so that I can make decisions. I do sleep tracking as well. I don't look at it, but when I have a rough night sleeping, I want to see how bad it was, what times I was waking up, what times I was having a hard time sleeping. What did I do the night before? Did I have drinks? Did I have, ice cream? Did I have, what was my day like? Was it a lot of stress? Try to correlate what happened to how it impacted my sleep. And those are things that I'm just really interested in. I'm a data guy. I love nerding out over that sort of stuff. And I love doing the same with physical activity. And I can prove for me that the 10,000 steps every day with very little skips has made a huge impact to my skating. So I've been able to go out there and skate. I'm actually skating flat again. So these are my skates. I'm on a pair of the standard Omni. I'm on Yondi's brown boots with a white tape instead of the orange paint. So I got white tape over the orange. I've got white sole plates. I switched into white prime frames last week. And the reason is for skating mini ramp. So I'm skating flat 56s. These are 56s, yeah, 56 88A. I am on the new black primes with the white wall. So it's the white primes with the black core, whatever you want to call it, black axles as well. Absolutely love this look. The black and white. We also do the white and black. Oh, I don't have it here, but it's the opposite. Oh, I do have it here. White and black. So it's the opposite with the white walls and the black core. That's what I was saying. I should have grabbed the other one. The black with white. That's the one that I didn't have. I looked at it and I was like, wait a second, I have that right here. Black walls with the silver core and the silver axles, or the white walls with the black core, black axles. I love the prime frames for skating transition and mini ramp. I do not love the prime frames for doing any gaps because the aluminum core really impacts me. But when I'm in transition, especially skating a wooden ramp, this is an amazing setup for me. Inside, I have the V2 liners. So these are the new and improved large liners. These are the comfort liners from the standard Omni V2. These are the updated ones. If you got a large standard Omni V2 and they're a little snug for you, get in contact, make sure that you got the right liners. These came in, 2 months ago? We've been swapping these out for anybody who got the old large liners. They are a slightly longer design, so they will fit the shell better. The old liners were closer to a medium instead of a large. The factory sent me new liners, so if this is you, please get in contact, law@balancedisc.com. Let me know, and I will see if we can get you a new pair of liners. But I am loving the comfort liners. They are a very comfortable liner. This one fits my foot perfectly. It is a great length. Inside, I am using the FP insoles. I mentioned this in my video. These are a skateboard company that makes these insoles. They have some really squishy gel stuff right here, which is really nice for impact. Very comfortable insoles. The squish itself is really nice and padded, and then there's the main like shock absorption area right here in the middle. Feels really great when I'm skating. I am a big fan of these, and I've been pushing it off for many, many years because I didn't think that I needed it. I don't know that I need it now, but it definitely helps when I'm out there skating. Anything that I can do to comfort my landings whenever I'm coming off of a grind or coming off of an air, I'm here for it. So FP insoles get my thumbs up. I'm a big fan. In addition, I'm skating the softer wheels when I skate street or when I skate skate park. I'm skating balance frames. Those are a plastic frame on 88A wheels. I teased this a little bit, and this is another teaser. This is not coming anytime soon, but I'm also testing a new shock absorber. So these are the new shock absorbers we're working on. They are not ready yet, but it is a now squishy padding. Very similar to the old Solomon shock absorbers. It is a new mold, another new mold coming. These will be available in the future, but I like to share the setup that I'm riding, and I am riding these. I'm finding that a shock absorber is very important. The shock absorbers that came on the standard Omni are great. These are so much better. More information to come on these. It is a brand new material, brand new design. It fits the shell perfectly. This is a huge upgrade if you ask me. We've got the whole team riding them now, I think. And yeah, very excited about these. I will share more information in the future, but that's what's in my shell. You can see it slides right in, looks perfect, fits perfect. Very excited. More good stuff coming. We listen to feedback. When you say that you want something improved, when you say that something isn't as good as it should be, we say, all right, we'll make it better. And now, after 2 releases, we've made a ton of improvements, and there's more to come. So it's going to be a while until we have, again, tariffs kind of screwed up our schedule, but it's going to be a while until we have new stuff to formally announce. But just wait, it's going to be another great release when that next V3 comes out. What else? So yeah, I'm very happy. I can't complain. I have had no back injuries. I've had no any injuries. I am still strengthening my core and tightening my core when I jump on grinds, when I jump off grinds. So I have a very firm support system when I'm doing my tricks, doing airs, doing grinds, doing anything like that. But truthfully, I don't have to do it as often and as deliberately because of all of the walking that I'm doing, stretching that I'm doing. I feel like I have more support now. So again, get out there, get your steps if you haven't already. I think that is a huge life improvement that you can do. It does not take a lot of time, maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes out of your day. If you're sitting and watching shows or something like that, I have a treadmill. I put the iPad on the treadmill, I put my AirPods on, and I just watch some shows for 30 minutes and I get through the day. It is a great feeling. So I do plan on skating again this week, probably a mini session. I might go to Thursday night skate tomorrow. We have a Thursday night at Apex. It is so hot here, though. I don't know that I want to go out and skate. It reached 93 today, and it's just a gross feeling. So I might go skate tomorrow. We'll see. If not, I might skate in the warehouse and just do a little mini session. But I am back. Proud to be back. Happy to be back. Thanks for all the support. And it's been great making the videos. Again, definitely rusty, definitely not pushing myself, but it's only the beginning. I appreciate the encouragement, and I hope that you keep watching and see how I can skate and get myself back into the shape that I was, because I felt like I was in pretty good shape towards the I guess towards the Omni launch, I was skating a lot. I felt really confident with all of my tricks and everything that I can do. I want to get back to that point again. All right. Let's answer any questions that we might have. Again, we do this live on Wednesday night, 9 p.m. If you have any questions, please let me know. Tag Back to Blading so that I can take a look and I can answer your question. I am a open book. I know a lot about rollerblading, and I'd be more than happy to answer your weird questions if you have them, or at least find a place that you can go and get that information. I'm going to scroll all the way to the top. And Rides Blades 007, I remember you. I hope everything's good. It's cool that we both feel Apex Skate Park is the best local one in North Carolina. If you're wondering about which skate park to visit next, maybe Apex. Yes, Apex is great. It is my sort of park. There's a lot of good flow. There are a lot of different levels of ledges. There are round rails. There is this beautiful marble block that I like to royale. There is a down ledge that sometimes I feel confident enough to skate. And there's this big down rail that makes a bong sound whenever I jump on it, which is really fun. It has been a while since I felt confident enough to skate Apex. I think the last time that I skated Apex, I had big wheels, and it was before Crowder Cup. It was probably when I had my first injury, which was probably April of last year. So it's been a while. Might be able to go out there again. The Thursday night skate for our local meetup is at Apex. They have lights. My eyes don't do great in the dusk under lights. So, I'm able to see, but I'm not able to judge depth. So jumping on a rail, jumping on a ledge is a little tricky. But I might get out there and just carve around. And, one of the things that I really enjoyed coming back is being part of the community and just meeting up with people whenever they're going to a session and skating with them. That is something that I'd always struggled to do because I wanted to get in early and get out. But now I'm not in a rush, I'm taking it easy. I don't have any goals for what I want to unlock for each session. I just want to go out there and skate. And it's very freeing. And I've met some new people who are locals, and I enjoy skating around with people. It's been a lot of fun. So hopefully I'll be able to get out to Apex. I'll post some clips. I do most of the clip posting to Instagram now. I'm skating more than I'm making videos on YouTube. So if you're only following on YouTube and you want to see more of what I'm up to, Instagram for Back to Blading is the best place to go. I post the stories and I post to reels and stuff like that whenever something cool is going on. Good place to follow me. I would rather people start following on Instagram than YouTube, because YouTube, I feel like I want to spend more time making good content versus just abundant content. I will still, whenever I go out to a proper session, I'll probably make a video. But I'm skating more often, and I'm just posting random clips to Instagram. I won't make a full video unless I have a full, my video session video format. And they're shorter than they used to be. They're 5-6 minutes now, where they used to be 10, because I just don't have the stamina to make a full YouTube video yet. Someday I'll make it. But yes, come on out, visit. Let's go skate Apex. Pablo Skates, good to see you. How does mold ownership work? If you wanted to, could you take them back and transfer to another factory? Yes, that is something that is definitely possible. Most molds are made in China, but that doesn't mean that they are injection molded. The parts are produced and injection molded in China. So Wish is a good example. They made their molds in China, but they have their parts made in a injection mold shop in California. We did the same when we were making our molds for Fitty Vitty. In fact, I think the mold was actually first frame, non-UFS frame, was made in the USA. This was 95, 96. I don't know that you can make molds like that here anymore. I think maybe it would be possible to make a frame mold. It would be extremely expensive. But people who make molds like that don't they aren't here. They're in China because that's where the industry is. So it's not just taking a CAD file and making a big piece of of steel and cutting it out. You have to make sure that you prepare the part for injection molding, which means you need inlets, you need outlets, you need different what is it called, the tapering, so that the part can come out of the mold. Because if you don't make it properly, and if you make right angles and you make the angles all wrong, you will never get the part out of the mold. It is a skill to be able to make a mold. And there was actually a really good YouTube video from Smarter Every Day, the guy Destin, who, if you haven't watched his stuff, definitely take a look. He went out to make a grill scraper, like a charcoal grill, out of parts that he sourced from the United States. And it is documenting how every part was made and the process for making those parts. And he really struggled trying to make everything in the United States. I won't spoil it for you, but it is a huge challenge trying to make products completely in the United States. And making molds was one of the issues that he ran into. Now, there's some new technology that worked in his situation. It would not work for skates. Definitely could do wheels, for example. We could definitely do frames, but skates would be a difficult one, and that's probably why nobody does it. The specialized machines that they use for making skates, I don't know that there are a lot of them in the United States. To answer your question, though, yes, it is absolutely possible. A big company could definitely do it. A small company like me could not. I don't have the resources or the knowledge to set up a shop anywhere outside of where we've already set up in China, because they are the best at what they do. If I were to get some sort of a grant to open up a factory here in North Carolina to become a blade production shop, and do my own injection molding, do my own wheel pouring, do my own liner making, I would love that. But it's going to cost millions of dollars, and I don't have that kind of money. And last I checked, the government isn't giving me that kind of money to open up shops. Like, they want to invest in production in the US. I am here for it. Give me some money so that I can start producing things. I need a warehouse. I need specialized machinery. I need people that I can train. I need to get trained. Like, it's a lot of interest, and you can't just flip that on with a switch. It takes years to build out. So I think the concept of more production and manufacturing in the United States is interesting. Don't know that it's necessary, but it's interesting. But the way that it's being proposed right now, you got to give us a little bit of time. At any rate, yes, would love to make things outside of of China, but right now it's the best place to do it. Great question, though, and it is a thing that I never really thought about until now. And I'm like, well, you know what? I am kind of screwed. Like, I am kind of stuck in China, which is why balanced distribution Europe is such an exciting possibility, because I can have stuff shipped directly there. So European customers and other customers, I get shipped from there anywhere else. Doesn't matter. That is the future. Lander, not a question, but wanted to say thank you. Well, thank you, Lander. I hope I did something good, and I hope that I hope it was. I don't know why you're thanking me, but I appreciate you. Maybe it's just a general thank you. Sean Michelson, the UHMW prototype frame, or the first injected cores, and injected ones. So both of them, the first UHMW prototype frame, which I don't have within hand reach. Do I? No. I don't have within hand reach, but those were made at our machine shop. So it was a block of UHMW that Ted Simpson wrote because his background was as a machinist. He was the co-founder of 50/50, and he was like the lead design guy. He was partners and worked at a machine shop and would go over there and get the parts made. That's why it was so easy for 50/50 to make parts, and why the parts looked so good, because we had a really great engineer and designer who was making our parts, and he knew rollerblading. He was a skater, so it was really great to have. They were made at the factory, the machine shop. I think they were in Santa Clara at the time. Yeah, Santa Clara. So that's where those were made. The injection molded frames, that was someplace in Santa Cruz, I think. I remember going to that shop once, but I wasn't really part of that project when it was started. But I do remember that the mold was bloody expensive. It was fully made in the United States, so nothing was done in China. We moved that mold to the factory so that the USD Julio skates could be made, because we just couldn't compete on price. If we wanted to work with a skate company, we had to first of all get the price down so that the skate wouldn't be extremely expensive. Second of all, they had to be made locally so that they could put them on the skates. Otherwise, you're having to ship things all around the world just to make parts. And that got really expensive. So instead, we moved the molds over there. We added a large mold, and then had all the base plates. Actually, the base plates weren't molded at the time. They were all machined still. But all of those went over there, and then it was produced. And then, we haven't looked back. I think it's not the same factory that I'm using now. It's a new factory that I started working with Compass, and then with the 50/50 frames, and now with Standard. But I don't know if those old molds are still those old non-UFS molds. They got to be 30 years old now. It's the molds don't last forever, especially if they're not being used on a regular basis. But they were made in the U.S. And then I don't know how much they were, but they were way too expensive. We learned our lesson and moved everything over to China. Johnny 5 needs input. What do you think about 3D printed skates? It's an interesting concept. I think that the materials are only going to get better. I don't know how well they will hold up. I know that the issues that we ran into with V1 were material issues. It is really hard to get a good material. And we went through, 6 different materials while testing V2 to end up where we are. That material is a nice balance of flex and support. And that's not something that I think you can make with a 3D print. There are designs. I think I saw, who's the guy doing? Somebody's doing a skate that's like an open source sort of skate thing that is a 3D printed design. I don't know what materials they are using, but it's an interesting potential future, right? The biggest problem that I see with 3D printed is the output. When you create a mold, it is super cheap to make parts, and it is super fast to make parts. 3D printing, when I 3D print a frame, it takes 24 hours for one wall. So I have 2 printers. I can get through a set of frames in 24 hours. That's a long time. If you put into numbers how much, how many frames you need. Like we order 300 set of frames at a time. That's a year of the printers going nonstop in order to make 300 frames. That's not something that is going to happen anytime soon. So you could get more printers. I mean, obviously there's ways around it, but I don't know that technology is right for what we need. But if all you're doing is testing a design, or you're just tinkering and you're a hobbyist, it is amazing. The stuff that we can do. I showed you the new shock absorbers that we're working on. We 3D printed those here. And we found that the 3D printed versions feel like a raised heel boot. Because the material isn't squishy, it is solid, just like a piece of plastic would be, and your skate. So we'll probably be offering those as well. So you'll be able to get a 3D printed heel pad that is like a heel riser, put it in your skate, and your standard Omni will feel like a 909. Because it'll have a raised heel that is made out of the same material, same style material as a skate. And it is difficult to tell the difference when you put it in there. Those are the sort of parts that I think 3D printing is amazing at, because I don't have to buy 300, 400, 1,000 sets of those. I can print one at a time, and I can print them worldwide. So if somebody wants a set in Asia, then I can find a printer out there, and I can print it out there, and then they can ship it to a local customer. That is the future. That is where I think 3D printing really shines. Production-wise, skate-wise, when it comes to flex and stuff like that, still got a long way to go. All right, I think that is it. Stream still looks great. I'm going to jump into the main event, and it is only 10 o'clock. We're doing great on time. All right, so I've been seeing a lot of people posting on the Instagram and on the Facebook and on my videos that they are getting back into blading. This happens every June. It is a holiday that we all celebrate, and I'm always optimistic when I see people getting back into blading, because for me, it is the best thing that I do. I absolutely love rollerblading. I got back into it, 8 years in now? And I've been struggling with some injuries for the last year, but before then I was skating every weekend for 6 years. And it is amazing. It is a great addictive pastime. It is a physical activity, so you improve your body, you get out there and you get some nice mental health by skating by yourself. You're competing against yourself, which is always a great feeling, and you can skate with a community, or you can post clips to your Instagram or whatever and connect with a community of like-minded people who are just so into rollerblading. If you go to events, if you go to competitions, you'll see, or meetups, you'll see hundreds of skaters who know all the tricks that you know. They know the skaters that you know. They know the brands that you know. You can talk in a normal way with them that you can't talk with your coworkers or your family with. It is an amazing community. So if you are back to blading, welcome. We are happy to have you. I would like to spend a little bit of time to tell you about things that have changed since you skated last, and give you a little bit of advice how to set yourself up for success, so that you will have a good summer and you will enjoy skating and hopefully stick around, because again, it is an amazing thing. We always are looking for more skaters. We lose people fairly regularly as they get injured, or if they have the skates that they used to skate and they don't quite fit them the way that they used to, and they're like, this isn't for me. It's probably fine. It probably is for you, but you just need a few little tweaks in order to prepare yourself for skating so that you can skate longer injury-free, and you can enjoy skating whenever you go out for a session. So first of all, skates. So you probably still have your old skates. A lot of people have their old skates. They are probably not going to hold up to skating now. So if you bought your skates in the 90s, in the early 2000s, and you were in high school or something like that, those skates are much better suited for putting on the shelf, putting in a display cabinet. Go to IKEA, get yourself one of those little square box things that you can stack all the different cubes up and put your skates in there and think about the fun times that you had. Get a picture of yourself from back in the days, put it in there in a frame. That's where it belongs. The reason is, where did my skate go? I had a broken skate here. Oh no, I lost it. Well, end of the day, I don't know where the skate went. End of this day, skates break. Oh, I swear I had it. Oh man. Well, I can use this one. I'm sure I've got an example somewhere. Actually cleaned up in here, so it's not as broken as it used to be. Well, that sucks. I don't have any broken skates available because I don't use the old skates. They stay up on the wall. Old skates don't last. So the plastics that they used back in the days, the glues that they used back in the days to keep things together, it didn't hold up super well. It was never designed to last 20 years. It was designed to last 20 months. And if you were skating consistently, you might be able to make those skates work. But you haven't been. If they've been sitting in the garage, if they haven't been in a climate-controlled environment, if they haven't gotten regular skating, regular flexing, then that plastic is probably extremely brittle and dry, and it will probably break the first time that you go out there and skating. The only exception, potential exception, is Salomon. Salomon skates were built to last and they held up really well. Even then, the shock absorber inside the Salomon skates is probably crumbled. It is made of a polyurethane. You should rip those out, swap them in. You can get some Razor SL shock pads if you don't know any of those names. Don't worry about it, but you can always contact a shop if you want to reuse those skates. Those are the only skates that I would say are okay to skate. If you had an old pair of K2 fatties, they will explode the first time you go out there and skate. Those cuffs were not designed to last, and as soon as you flex forward, those cuffs are going to break. So just know that you're going to need to buy some new skates. Now, what skates should you get? How much are skates nowadays? Well, there's a few great options, and I usually say you should budget yourself around $200 to get yourself back into it. If you want to spend a little bit of money, $300, you can get almost any skate out there, but you can get a great setup for about $200, maybe $250, depends on the sales and depends on which setups you want. I typically recommend, if you are getting back into it and if you don't have an opinion on frames or wheels or brands or anything like that, you should probably get yourself some USD Aeons. So the USD Aeon, this is a plastic boot. It is a aggressive boot. It is a single piece design. So back in the days, you know, they would have a boot. What's a good example? Oh, these thrones. You probably are familiar with these thrones. So back in the days, this is how a skate would look. You would have the shell, you would have the cuff, you would have some sort of a sole plate, and then you have a frame that goes on the bottom. Sometimes the frames are replaceable, sometimes they're not. But you have all these different parts. In this situation, with the USD Aeon, it is a single piece. The cuff is a separate piece, but it is a single piece. So this boot, this sole plate, and this frame are all a single piece. That means that they're a little bit less expensive. It means that you can get a wide split without having to worry about any mounting standards. They don't have the UFS mounting pattern. All it does is have wheels under there and a big grind area so that you can jump on your front sides, do your royales. The sole plate is nice and wide. If you compare them to, I'm using these thrones as an example, but if you use the knuckle test on the thrones, if you use it in the front, you can see my finger is right around here, like right between my knuckles. With this USD Aeon, put it in the front, it is all the way up to my main knuckle. It is a seriously big sole, so you will not have any issues missing sole tricks. You'll be able to jump right on. There's also a big negative on the Aeons. I don't know if you were into negative tricks when you were a kid or when you skated last, but if you're into that sort of thing, very nice negative. Biggest deal with the Aeon is a very low skate, again, because they don't have to worry about mounting standards or anything like that. They can go super low. These are 60 millimeter wheels, technically 61, I think. And they go super low into the boot, almost touching the bottom of the boot, which means that you're going to have a nice low ride, super stable. It is a great setup. And again, I think they cost around $240 nowadays. I got these for maybe $230, something like that, when they were brand new. There's a variety of different Aeons out there. It's spelled AEON, USD Universal Skate Design. I was going to say undercover. I'm getting my Power Slide brands confused. USD is a very well-respected brand. It's been around since 96, I think, 97 they started. It is owned by Power Slide, which is probably the biggest brand of inline skates in the world. USD is their aggressive line. It is a highly recommended skate for beginners. And again, it is fairly inexpensive. You can get out there, do all of your tricks. I enjoyed skating on the Aeons. I think it's a great beginner setup. A flat setup is a highly recommended way to go. You can have a lot more fun when you're skating, and it's a lot more gentle ride. So USD Aeon, highly recommended. If you don't want to go with a single piece route. The concern with the Aeon, since the material that they use for the boot is the same as the material that they use for the sole plates and for the frames, you are going to get a slightly compromised experience when you're skating. So the flex for the boot won't be as great as a standalone boot, and the sole plate won't slide as well as a standalone sole plate because it's not designed for that. It's designed to give you a single piece design. The boot should flex, the sole plate should slide, and those two materials don't always mix. The Aeon mixes those two materials. What most people do is they will get a boot similar to the old style throne. They'll get a boot, they'll get a sole plate, and they'll get a frame. Couple of options out there. One of the most popular, where are they? Can I get to them? I can't reach them. Well, let's start over here. What's a good option? I was trying to get my 909s, but I don't know where they went. I swear I was more prepared than this, but they are gone. Well, I will start with the sways then. I will talk about the sways. Ugh. Oops, get over here. All right, another option. So this is the USD Sway. It's probably going to cost you about the same price as the USD Aeon, maybe around 230 bucks or so. You could probably get them even cheaper. Prices have changed so much recently, it's really hard to keep up. But the USD Sway is made by USD. It is a boot with a replaceable frame. So this is a UFS boot. You can see there are two mounting spots. They are 167 millimeters apart, and that is the UFS standard. So any frame that you get that has a UFS mount, you can look in the bottom of the frame, there we go. UFS mount, you can see that little mounting area. Any UFS frame will fit on a UFS boot. Put two bolts in, and then you can mount these frames. If you want, you could take that frame off, and you could put on some big wheels. So you can go out there and you could put big wheels on if you want to skate around your neighborhood. If you want to skate even bigger wheels. We have big wheels. These are 90 millimeter wheels. So if you want to skate around a trail, you can put big wheels on. Most boots that you buy that are replaceable frames are UFS. So make sure that you look and confirm, but you're pretty comfortable if you buy a aggressive boot, it will have UFS. You'll be able to skate any of the frames on the market that are UFS compatible. This is the USD Sway. It is a really great boot. It is lightweight. It is inexpensive. It has a great sole plate. It has a great shell. Usually the stock liners that come with it are fine. Stock liners are easy to replace if they don't fit you perfectly. But I would recommend the USD Sway as a starter boot if you're trying to get into aggressive and you don't want to do the one-piece Aeon. The USD Sway is a great skate, very inexpensive. It comes with a variety of options. You can get a bunch of different colors. You can get a bunch of different setups with different frames, different wheels, different colors, all that stuff. It is probably the cheapest of the recommended skates that I would actually skate. I enjoy skating the USD Sways. They are, again, just a really solid skate. It's a good looking skate in my eyes. It is lightweight. It has good flex. It is a fairly stiff skate, but it has good flex. Yeah, I mean, some of the best skaters in the world skate them, and it's perfect for them. So if it's perfect for them, it's probably great for you. So USD Sway, again, another great skate for you. I was going to mention the Them 909. I don't know where the hell they are, though. I reorganized things. Is that them up there? I can reach it. Let me reach it. I'll reach it. Come here. I use my chair and I will stand on it. Got it. All right. Another great skate. So I've actually stripped this from most of the parts, but this is the Them 909. It is a great skate, probably the most popular of the boot style skates. A little bit more expensive. These are probably going to run you $260 boot only, $270 boot only. They are coming out with a newer version. Nobody's really skated it yet, called the 901, which is their less expensive version. But if you were looking at spending, $300 or so, another great skate. It is made by John Julio, which is if you were skating in the 90s, you know who John Julio was. One of the pro skaters back in the days. USD, started at Rossi's, USD, then Volo. Started this company about 8 years ago and has been really killing it. Probably the most popular skate, definitely with the core audience. So people who are really into skating appreciate the 909. It is a nice flex, light skate, little expensive. Great sole plate though. They've been upgrading the sole plate over the years to make it a lot better. It's not the widest sole plate, but it is wide enough. It's not the best groove, but it is good enough. And if you're looking to support skater-owned companies, this is another great option. The Them 909 should be available in a bunch of different colors. And you can probably get some good deals nowadays. There's a lot of them out there. If not new, you can find a used pair. People buy them and then trade them and stuff like that. So definitely a good boot to look into if you're interested. If you were a fatty skater, so a lot of fatty skaters are looking for a skate that is comparable to the K2 fatties. We don't really have a soft boot comparable to fatties anymore. K2 was in the game for a while. They did make fatties. So this was the last fatty that they made. Oh my God, I am so unorganized. Oh, here, it's right behind me. That's what I get for cleaning the wall. This was the last fatty that they made. They don't make this anymore. I wouldn't skate this. It will probably break. I want to say this was made in 2014. It is not being made anymore, so it doesn't really matter. But they did make what they called the K2 Front Street. This was the last skate that they made. They made this skate and they made the Unnatural, two different skates. Very uncomfortable skates. I skated them and did not like them. They are extremely stiff. The sole plates didn't feel like they were designed for what we do. Kind of felt just alien on there. I was not a fan. I would not recommend them. If you are looking for a skate that is similar to what you got with the K2 Fatty back in the days, get on the hook. There it goes. If you are looking for a skate that is similar to the K2 Fatty back in the days, your best bet is probably the Faction Tactical V1. Oh, where is my Factions? Here they are. Faction Tactical V1s. So these are a little bit more expensive, much better made than the K2 Fatties. I think you will really like them if you like the flex and the comfort of the K2 Fatties, and you don't mind spending a little bit of money. The reason why these are a little bit more expensive, so the K2 Fatties back in the days, like these, no, these are King 55s. The K2 Fatties back in the days, this is an example. You can see this plastic. So they are the soft boot company, right? They use this plastic as their support area. So it goes up around the heel, goes around the toe, and that is where the support for this skate comes. And then the rest is the soft boot, which is where the comfort comes and it keeps you locked in. For the Faction, very similar setup. Instead, they're using carbon fiber. So it's carbon in the back here.
carbon that wraps around here. And then it's the material, the soft boot on the top. So it's a very similar concept to the K2 Fatty, but instead of using plastic, they're using carbon. Now, I enjoyed these skates. They were slightly too big for me, and I got a little bit of slop. The sizing is always going to be a problem. There are not a lot of skate shops nowadays, so it's difficult to find a place to try them on. The beautiful thing about Faction is that it is a skater-owned company. So our friend Clark is former ASA Pro. He started Faction. He is super responsive with customer service stuff. Go to their website if you've got sizing questions, fit questions, give him measurements. He loves looking at pictures of feet. I'm kidding. Give him your measurements and say that, you know, Lauren sent you, that you were a fatty skater and you want to try some tactical V1s. This is a great comparison to that old K2 Fatty. It will be more expensive than the K2 Fatty because it is carbon. It will be lighter, it'll be more responsive, but be prepared to spend a little bit more. You are getting more than you were with the K2 Fatty. So yeah, I recommend them. The sole plate is nice and wide, maybe a little bit too wide for my taste. There is a different sole plate available now. They've been reinvesting into the Faction world in making sole plates that fit different colors, different designs, different colorways. They just released a plastic version of a skate, so you've got a few different options. I haven't skated that plastic version. It probably doesn't skate like the Faction Tactical V1. It probably won't be like the K2 Fatty, but again, skater-owned companies, very important to support skaters who've invested time and money and love the sport. If all things are equal, why not give skater-owned companies your money versus big corporations? So yeah, Faction Tactical V1, another good recommendation. They're really similar to the K2 Fatty. A lot of people who have been former fatty skaters say that this is a really good comp. So definitely look into this if it is something that you're interested in. Oh, and I cannot remember where it was. And finally, I would be remiss to mention that I actually have a skate myself. Again, I do this because I love it. I am a rollerblader and I've invested a lot of time and energy and now money into rollerblading. We started a company about 2 years ago making skates. A year and a half ago now. It feels like forever ago. We try to keep the prices down. It is a $300 skate. Again, it's at the mid-range for what you would expect from a complete skate. It hits all of the boxes that I look for in a skate. It is a plastic shell. It is UFS. It has a few little bits and bobs that make it a little bit more to my liking. It is called the Standard Omni. I will bring, what's a good example? I don't have a normal looking Standard Omni. So of course I customize things and I make them the way that I skate them. But this is the Standard Omni. It is a plastic boot, again, as we did the two different comparisons. Either it is a single piece like the Aeon or is a plastic boot with a replaceable sole plate. This is the Standard Omni. It is a plastic boot. The brown is the boot, the white is the sole plate, so it is a replaceable sole plate. It is UFS, so any of the frames that you get that are UFS compatible will fit onto the Standard Omni. It is a flat boot, slightly different than the USD Sway or the Them 909. The inside of this boot is completely flat. So with the other boots, it is a raised heel. The other two boots, plastic boots that I showed you. But you can see this is completely flat on the bottom of the shell. And we use a shock absorber to lift your heel up and give you a little bit of squish. So this is a squishy shock absorber. So when you're skating, you get a little bit of cushion back there. There's a few other skates out there. Actually, the new Faction plastic skate is also a flat boot like this. The 909, the Them 909 is a raised heel. So the inside of their boot is raised, so they can't put a shock absorber in there without increasing the forward lean, which will adjust the way that you skate. For me, I love a flat boot. I love putting that shock absorber in there and adjusting it to the way that I like to skate. I prefer more of a lean back feeling, but if you're the sort that wants more of a forward lean, you can adjust it because you have full control over how much lean you get. It is a nice wide sole plate. Again, if we use the knuckle test, it's like a little less than one knuckle, so a little smaller than the USD Aeon, but very similar. I am very proud of the design. I think that it looks great on people's feet. It's in two different colorways right now, brown and black. So two different ways that you can buy it. And yeah, it's $230 boot only, $300 for a complete. That's probably what you're going to look for. It's kind of in the mid-range of what a normal skate would cost nowadays. And again, skater-owned company. So there's three, skate companies out there that I would support that are skater-owned companies. You can go with, Standard, Faction, them. There's a few others that I'm not listing. You could, Gods and Mesmer are two different brands that Frankie and Billy are running. There's T-Neck, which is a skate company out of Utah, I think, that makes a single piece. Actually, it's got a sole frame, so it's a little complicated, but it's a much cheaper, less expensive version of a skate. Point being, go to your local website, local skate shop, or check out a website and see if you can find any information about any skates that you like. These are a few that I recommend, but I highly encourage you to learn who owns the skates. There's a bunch of options out there nowadays, and a lot of us skaters who grew up skating also started our own companies. So it is a great time to support skater-owned companies because there's actually great quality skates out there. So that's skates. Talk a little bit about frames. So back when we were skating, most of us skated anti-rocker. If you wanted to skate flat, you would skate small wheels with grind plates, and that was kind of the way to do it. And there was definitely some arguments over what was the proper way to skate, whether anti-rocker was cheating setup, whether flat was the only true way to skate. Nobody really cares anymore. That's one thing that you'll learn with the way skating is currently. You just kind of go out there, skate how you want, ride whatever setup you want, do whatever tricks you want. Nobody really cares. We're all old enough that we're very, we just don't care. So go out there and skate how you want. If you want to skate anti-rocker, go do it. If you want to skate freestyle, if you want to skate caveman, take the wheels out of the inside and just grind the biggest ledges you can, go and do it. The inclusion in rollerblading is one of the best things. You can go to any session, and if you're a rollerblader, you will fit right in. That is a great feeling. But there are options. So I showed you the USD Aeon. It is a flat frame. In general, flat frame has a lot of advantages and disadvantages. The first advantage is it's going to be a smoother ride. You've got more wheels touching the ground, which means when you're skating, you'll actually be able to skate. If the wheelbase doesn't have any wheels in the middle, that means that the front and the back wheel are the only ones that are going to touch, which means the longer the frame, the more you're going to feel like you're on the train tracks. You're just skating and you have to kind of walk in order to turn. Versus if you have all four wheels touching, when you carve and turn, you'll have a lot more fun when you're skating. You'll have a lot more control when you're going around turns and things like that. It's also a lot easier on your knees and your back. More urethane hitting the surface at the same time means a lot more comfort, a lot more suspension when you're, a lot more shock absorbent when you're jumping off of ledges or jumping downstairs. So flat is definitely a recommended version. The nice thing about flat nowadays is there are skate setups that support really great flat setups that are UFS compatible. So the USD Aeon, great option, but you have to use the USD Aeon. It is a single piece design. When it wears out, it's never going to wear out. But if and when it wears out, you got to get a new pair of Aeons. not a big deal. Nobody's skating that much anymore, especially not gritty ledges that you're going to wear through that. But there are some options for UFS that give you a really nice flat ride. My two favorite flat frames out there. So first one is the Wish frame. It is spelled OYSI. This is the Wish Medium. There are two versions, and then there's a new version that's a partnership with FR that you won't be able to find because they're out of stock everywhere. But these are a great flat frame. What's interesting about this frame, it is UFS, so you can see the mounting holes here. So it will mount on any UFS compatible skate. It uses different sized wheels to get around the mounting area issue. So if you were to have a nice big split, so between wheel 2 and 3, if it went wide, you might rub on the bolt. And that is one of the problems that people run into when designing frames for the UFS system. What the Wish frame does is, instead of using all 4 wheels the same size, they have bigger wheels on the outside. So in this case, they're using 65 millimeter wheels on the outside, and they use 58 millimeter wheels on the inside. And as you can see, I'll hold this ruler up. As you can see, it is not a flat ride. So this first axle is actually higher up, and these middle wheels are lower, meaning that when you're skating, they're all hitting at just about the same time. So 65s on the outside, 58s on the inside, I think is a completely flat setup. If you had 64s on the outside, 58s on the inside, I think that's a slight rocker, maybe a 1/2 mil rocker. What's great about that is it gives you that feeling of a flat setup without being fully flat, because the middle wheels are smaller. Don't have to have all the wheels the same size. You can still ride flat. But you have a nice wide split, and you have this big, deep groove with nice wheel bite protection. So when you're grinding, you can see, I haven't skated this frame very much, but you can see the grinding. You grind on these little nubbins. So instead of getting bit by rubbing on your wheels, you're grinding on this little H-block area. Really great design, works really well. I'm a big fan of these frames. They have a bigger version. That was the original version. That was the version that I skated more often. It uses 72 millimeter wheels on the inside, and 60 millimeter wheels on the inside, 72 on the outside, 60 on the inside. Say it one more time. 72 on the outside, 60 on the inside. Creates that flat setup. Really, really great design. Yeah, Wish frame, OYSI. You can find them at most skate shops. They are UFS compatible. If you can find the wheels that fit well, most shops sell a setup that has wheels designed for this frame. So make sure that you find shops. It's also a skater-owned company. Cletus is the owner. He designed this. He lives in California and is just loves rollerblading. So came up with this design. Again, support skater-owned companies. Very important. Another one of my favorite flat frames is the AG60. This is I wouldn't say complicated version, but it is a more complicated frame to describe than ownership, to describe than Wish. This was designed by my friend Justin, who is a great skater, great designer. It is licensed to, sold to, I'm not sure how, a company called Icon. Icon is a brand that is owned by Powerslide, again, the bigger umbrella of many of the brands here in rollerblading, probably the biggest of all of the inline skating producers. USD, Powerslide, and now Icon. They are a great flat frame. So they ride a 60 millimeter wheel. They have a 1 millimeter rocker, so you can rocker this up or down. What a rocker does is it makes the wheels on the inside hit the ground first. So instead of having a completely flat ride, you would have a slightly curved ride. What that gives you is a little bit more control when you're going around turns, a little bit more wiggle for your walk. I absolutely love the 1 mil rocker. This is my favorite flat frame if I were skating a non-frame that I designed. This is the frame that I would skate. It rides 60mm wheels. People love them with 58s as well, but it is a very versatile frame. Again, UFS. You don't have to buy special wheels, different sizes. You can get away with just a complete 60mm setup. And it's got really great wheel bite protection, a really great design. The Icon AG60 is the name of this frame. It comes in a variety of colors, and one of the gimmicks, you can swap out the inside. I have them set to silver now, but they have these little things that you can pull out and swap with different colors to make them different little highlights on the inside. It's kind of cool. If all you're doing is skating anti-rocker, absolutely no harm in that. Most people skate anti-rocker still. It is a great setup, especially if you are skating ledges. So the benefits of skating flat, you have a slightly more comfortable ride, a little bit more suspension, a little bit more shock absorption when you're skating, and you can actually skate. The negatives, obviously, is you have increased risk of getting wheel bite. So if you're jumping on a ledge, if those middle wheels stick and you're not skating fast enough, you might bite, you might topple and end up on your ass. That sucks. If you want to alleviate that risk, you can go skate anti-rocker. You can skate anything you want. Probably the most popular anti-rocker frames out there, the Create Originals. These are the classic anti-rocker frame. Nice deep groove, fits anti-rocker wheels nice and clean. You can get a max of 60s on the outside. You could probably go bigger if you dremeled a little bit, but most people ride them with 60s, maybe 58s on the outside. You can skate them flat. They are not designed for a flat frame. Technically, I guess they didn't design them as an anti-rocker frame, but most people skate them anti-rocker. I recommend them as an anti-rocker frame. I wouldn't recommend them as a flat frame, but you could skate them flat. They really shine as an anti-rocker frame though. Really great design, skater owned. They're produced in the USA, variety of colors. They are UFS, so you're able to skate them with any UFS boot. If you are looking for an anti-rocker setup, it is hard to beat the Create Original. This is probably the most popular anti-rocker frame out there that doesn't come stock on a skate. There are a bunch of skate companies out there that make their own frames. I'm doing my best not to recommend them because I think skater-owned companies need a little bit of shine. Frame companies are a difficult segment of the market to compete in because a skate company makes their own frames. So they're automatically going to sell the most because every frame comes with one. You have to really hunt out a aftermarket frame, and all of the frames that I'm showing tonight are worthy of hunting out, in my opinion. If you're looking for an anti-rocker frame, it is hard to beat the Create Original. These are the OG frames. They come in two sizes, a variety of colors, fit a maximum of 60mm wheels, comfortably 58s if you don't want to make any modifications or if you're on some older skates. And yeah, they are probably the most popular anti-rocker frame. And then finally, I will put a plug for Fitty Fitty. So this is the Balance 2 frame. Kind of an all-around frame. I love skating them anti-rocker, especially if you're skating ledges. It is a really great setup for skating ledges. Maximum 60mm wheel. Again, this is my company that I've built designed these frames, and I make these frames. So if you're trying to support skater-owned, any of the companies that I've mentioned tonight are a great way to do that. This one directly impacts me. These are the Balance 2 frames. They are designed as an homage, I guess, to the Balance 1 frame, which was the original, kind of based on the original UFS frame that Fitty Fitty came out with. Big changes in the Balance 2 frame. It fits a 60mm wheel. You could skate them 60mm flat if you wanted to. I don't recommend it. I think 58mm flat is good. This is a good all-purpose frame that you can skate flat and you can skate anti-rocker. New, they now come in a variety of colors, but we're also including juice blocks. So if you remember from back in the days, the juice blocks that were available for the old Balance frames, they are back. They are available now for the new Balance 2 frames, and they come stock. You can easily remove these if you wanted to skate a flat setup or if you want to skate with your anti-rocker wheels. But if you want to save a little bit of money, put some outside wheels on, go out there and skate. They are a 60 millimeter maximum. So if you were skating flat 60, you wouldn't have any problems putting these on any skates. They're available in 2 sizes and again, a variety of colors. You can get them at a bunch of different skate shops, ask for more information, etc., etc. I think you've got all the information that you need from a skate perspective. Get yourself a nice boot that you like. Get yourself some frames that you like. Wheels are kind of a dime a dozen right now. You will expect to pay anywhere from $40 to $50 for a set of 4. I probably wouldn't spend more than that. You can get some discount wheels for cheap. If you wanted to save some money, wheels is a good way to do it. Wheels is the consumable part. So you will change your wheels more often than any other part on your skates. Frames will last a while. Boots will last a while. Bearings will probably last a while if you take care of them. But wheels, as you skate more, you're going to wear down wheels more. You can get a harder wheel. A harder wheel should wear down slower, but the compromise is that a harder wheel is going to be more hard when you're skating, which means that it's going to feel like you're skating on rocks versus standing on nice bouncy wheels. They do make wheels all the way up to 95A now, which is a very hard wheel. When you were a kid, you probably were skating 88A or 90A. They make all the way up to 95. It is a hard wheel. It will last a long time. It will slide over anything. So if you're skating a flat setup, not a bad idea to put 95s on the inside, 92s or 90s on the outside. If you're skating anti-rocker though, don't go with 95A. I wouldn't even go with 92A. I would stick around 90A. I skate 88A. It's a softer wheel. It will wear out faster. Obviously, I own wheel companies, so it's cheaper for me to replace the wheels than anybody else. But I don't mind spending a little bit of money, and I always recommend you don't get to go out there and skate very often. Most of the time when we're skating now, it is at a skate park where everything is smooth. You're not going to wear out your wheels that quickly unless you're in West Virginia where everything is rough. But if you're skating often, you won't wear through 88A that quickly. It is worth spending a little bit of money replacing your wheels a little bit more often to get a much better ride and a much more bouncy ride, especially if you've got back injuries, knee injuries, something like that. A little bit more bounce is helpful. But if you want to get a nice middle ground of things, go with the 90A. 90A is a nice compromise. That's probably the most popular hardness. Any size, any profile, find a brand that you like. You will find that most wheels out there are skater owned. There are a few wheel companies that are big business, but really, I mean, most of the wheel companies that you find, because wheels are pretty low margin, you're not going to be able to make a ton of money off of them. They're really mostly skater owned companies. Find a wheel that you like, find a color that you like, find a graphic that you like. Maybe learn a little bit about the skaters that are behind them and who you want to support. Wheels are a great way to support companies, support your favorite riders, and just experiment. Maybe get a completely black skate and then have a really colorful wheel or some crazy graphic on a wheel. That's a nice little way to express yourself and have a little pop of color without getting too crazy with yellow skates or something like that. I think that's it from a gear perspective. So we talked about boots, we talked about wheels, we talked about frames. The last thing and the most important thing, which is something that I might have opted to talk about at the top of the hour, but instead I will remind you at the end, protective gear. Very important nowadays that you protect yourself. You probably have a job now. You're not living at home with your parents. You're not on their insurance. You need to make sure that you take care of yourself and your family. If you end up in the hospital, it's not good. If you break your wrist out rollerblading and you can't type at your computer, that sucks. I've done it. Not broken my wrist, but I sprained it so bad that I couldn't move it. I was in a brace having to type with my left hand, and I'm a software developer, so I sit at my computer all day typing. That is not okay. Things that you should do. You should always wear a helmet when you go out and skate. A lot of people aren't going to do it. You're probably not going to do it, but I'm going to say it anyway. If you hit your head, there's potential risk that you're going to seriously damage yourself. I have a friend who's a really great skater who ended up in a coma for a week. No joke. He is a great skater. He actually teaches ice hockey skating for professional teams. And he fell, tripped on a crack, and hit his head and was in a coma for a week. Wear a helmet. They are $50 or so. Make sure that you get a certified helmet. They are not the most comfortable thing, but when you wear it every time you skate, you get used to it and you don't think about it, and you go out there and skate and you're just wearing a helmet. The risk of falling while not wearing a helmet is too high for me to ever skate without one. So just use your own calculations. If you think it's cool, fine, do your thing. We do have a helmet giveaway with Gear Talk. So backtoblading.com/Gear Talk if you want to enter to win a helmet if money is a problem. But it is the most important piece of insurance that you can buy when you go out and skate, because anything can happen when you're skating. Doesn't matter how good of a skater you are, anything can happen. You can hit your head, and I don't want anybody ending up in the hospital or in a coma. With that being said, outside of a helmet, 3 things that I always recommend. First of all, wrist guards. Wrist guards are another great form of insurance for your livelihood. So if you sit at a computer all day, if you are an artist, if you are a musician, you use your hands. If you are a doctor, if you use your hands or anything, get yourself some wrist guards. I recommend the Ennui City Brace. These are the Ennui City Brace 2, I think. They have a metal wrist protector up front, a metal wrist protector in the back. So when you put them on your hand won't go back, it won't go forward. Granted, if you fall hard enough to break your wrist, instead of breaking your wrist, you might break your arm. That is a risk that I'm willing to take. Arms heal. If you break some of the bones in your wrist, some of these bones don't heal. That is not cool. So I would rather protect my wrist. I would rather have something that if I put my hand down, I slide a little bit, don't scratch up and cut up my hand, and I avoid breaking the bones in my wrist. I always wear a wrist guard when I skate. The Ennui City Brace is the one that I recommend. It is a great wrist guard. This paired with my helmet is my bare minimum. Whenever I go out and skate, those are the 2 pieces of equipment that I wear. If you are skating aggressive, shin guards. Shin guards are super important. I've split my shin open 3 times since getting back into it. I've had stitches twice. Once I should have gotten stitches and I didn't. Went into shock while I was at the skate park. Thought I was okay. It was my first time and I was like, oh, I'm okay. And it was not. I was not okay. We do a lot of tricks where our shins are going to hit a object, whether that's a sole trick or a groove trick. Any sort of grind, you have that chance of slipping out, whether the object is slippery and you weren't judging it, whether you didn't jump high enough and you shin yourself on it. I've slipped out on royales and fallen to my shin, and if I had my shin guards on, it would have protected me and I wouldn't have had stitches. Splitting your shins open is a rite of passage as an aggressive skater. I am telling you, you don't have to do it. Just get yourself some shin guards. There are shin guards that are made by skate companies. I have not found one that works as well for the money as a $20, $15 soccer shin guard. This is a Nike shin guard. I bought it because it was the only shin guard that I found that fit me. Go to a sporting goods store, get yourself some soccer shin guards. What you're looking for is dense material. You don't need something super padded or anything like that. You want something that will take the cut. You might get a bruise underneath it. You won't get a cut. That's what you're looking out for. They usually have these little things that go around your ankle. I cut those off. Slide that on your ankle. You get a little Velcro strap that you put around your calf. Other than that, I wear shin guards whenever I skate aggressive. I don't wear shin guards when I skate big wheel. But whenever I skate aggressive, if there's a chance that I'm going to do grinds, I'm going to wear a shin guard just to take out a little bit of insurance. I don't miss very often, but it is a thing that happens. And if you hit your shins, it can really hurt. Splitting your shin open, again, I've done it 3 times. I've had stitches twice. It is not cool. And it's super easy to prevent. These, you put them on, you don't even think about it. It's just another piece of equipment that you wear under your pants. It's not going to make any difference to your skating. It's not going to impact your flex, impact your jumping. Why not do it? They're $15. They're easy to get. Final thing is knee pads. I'll sometimes not skate with knee pads, I'll be honest. Knee pads are kind of difficult to find that compromise between pads that actually do anything and pads that don't impede on your movements. I wear a brand that's called ALK 13. They are made in France, or they're from France. I don't know where they're made, but they are a slim pad that is cut resistant. It has padding on the front and on the sides. They are machine washable. They are being washed right now. I forgot to bring them. But they fit under my pants. I wear stretchy jeans, or I wear cargo pants when I skate. They go under my pants, and they do the job. You can get a variety of knee pads, and I would suggest going to a shop and trying them on, find some that fits. A lot of people wear knee pads, the little small knee pads that just take off a little bit of the bounce. Some people wear the big plastic knee pads, still very few, but some people wear the big plastic knee pads still. I think knee pads are a thing that we used to wear more often and we don't wear as often now. I still wear them, but it is, if there was ever a piece of equipment of the 4 pieces of equipment that I showed you, that is the one that I wear the least. Because when I fall now, I fall to my side, or I fall to my hip, or I slide out on my skates, or I lean on the transition. I don't fall directly to my knees very often. If you were looking though, there are a lot of great options out there. Again, this brand Ennui, it is owned by Powerslide. Surprise, surprise. A lot of things in skating nowadays are owned by Powerslide. ENNUI. They make a variety of knee pads that you can get. It is not a skater-owned company. It is a skate company that invests in skating. I have no problem supporting them. There really isn't a skater-owned pad company though to support. So Ennui is probably our best bet because it is fully a rollerblading. I guess they do make quad stuff, but they invest heavily into rollerblading. They wouldn't be where they were without inline skating, and they are the major inline skating supporter. So I do recommend using Ennui brand stuff. Their knee pads are pretty good. I have a few pair of them, but I don't recommend them. There's nothing special about them. They work okay, but I don't really have a knee pad that I love. I think finding something that's thin that fits under your pants is probably the best thing to do if you're going to wear a knee pad at all. Finally, take care of yourself. Make sure that you drink lots of water when you go out there and skate. Make sure that you do stretching. I posted a video last month that details my recovery. I've been injured for a while because I didn't take very good care of my body. You need to do stuff between sessions. You can't just expect to go out there and skate at your level and then wait a few weeks and then go out there and skate again at your level and not get hurt. You need to stay active throughout the week. I have a goal to get 10,000 steps a day, and I have an app on my phone that tracks how many steps I get. And since getting 10,000 steps a day, I've felt a huge improvements in my cardio as well as my core strength as well as my flexibility, because I am stretching before I do my steps, before I step on my treadmill. It's important that you take care of your body, do your stretching, make sure that you're paying attention to any aches or pains and you take them seriously. You are not young anymore. It's going to hurt, but it is attainable. I am 48 years old. I skate fairly well still. I can get through an hour, 2-hour session with very little ache and pain afterwards because I am trying to take care of my body. I am focused when I'm out there skating, and I think you can too. Just make sure that you know your limits. Don't get out there and expect to skate like you're in high school still. It's important that you go out there and have fun, but if you start feeling pain, if you start getting exhausted, don't push yourself too much. There are plenty of days out there. Take a break, get some water, and then go out to skate another day. If you have any questions, leave a comment in the video, send me a message on the Instagram. I'm here to help. Again, welcome back to blading. I hope that you enjoy it. It is a great community. It is a great pastime. I absolutely love it. And I can't wait to see some clips of you out there skating. All right. How was that? Pretty good? That's pretty good, I think. I think it went pretty well.
I hit all of the topics that I was trying to get. I probably didn't do everything as well as I would have liked, but it will be enough for me to cut up and do some reels probably to talk about different things, different skates, different recommendations. Did I miss anything? Did I miss any skates that you would recommend? I think I got all of the heavy hitters. How about frames or wheels, anything that I missed? Let me know in the comments. I would love to have some sort of a follow-up, maybe a more detailed version of it, where I can talk through all of the different brands, things that I recommend. But those are the ones I think that I would recommend the most. So this year I am heavy into skater-owned companies. I think it's, and this might be a little rant, it is crazy how many companies have gotten into rollerblading in the last couple of years that are not skater-owned. I cannot believe it. When we started making the Omni, there was nothing on the horizon. John had come out with a 909, proved that he could do it, proved that it was possible. Clark came out with the Faction, proved that he could do it, proved that it was possible. So we were like, all right, let's do it. We came out with the Omni, proved we could do it, proved it was possible, and then boom, 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 brand. Everybody's coming out with these skates, these straight from China skates, these random skates that, they're good skates. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they're not good skates. But I want people who have invested in rollerblading as an aggressive skater to be able to thrive and be able to grow their business. And the only way that we can do that is by supporting these companies that have done that. Aggressive is so small. It is such a small, I could compare my Compass sales to 50/50 sales as an example. It is my most popular frame is the Compass 80 millimeter frame by a mile, because it is so attainable. Anybody can go out there and skate. Anybody can put that on any UFS skates, and they're not just aggressive skaters, they're just UFS skates. Aggressive is very small, and to see this many brands coming into the market with just stuff, there's no passion behind the skate, there's no story behind the skate, there's no like why did they design the skate the way that they designed it? Things like that matter to me. And maybe I'm sappy and old-fashioned, but I want to support brands that support the sport and are part of the sport. And I want, that's why I made my list of, brands that I love. I highly recommend that. I want these brands to stick around because I know that they will stick around and they will continue doing things in the sport even if the times are bad. If there is no sales, they will still be around doing what they can, trying to scrape money together for the next production run. I can't say the same for brands that are basically recreational brands that now have an aggressive skate, because they are going to be around, but they might not make their aggressive skate anymore because maybe there isn't a market for it. That is a scary world. And I love what John did. I think, he was the first penguin, and now there's a lot of us. I would love to see a future where aggressive skating is 100% skater-owned brands. And I don't know that it's ever going to happen, but I would love that. I think it's amazing. We built this sport like we know it best. I want to make sure that we're around to support it. Anyway, if there was a brand that I missed, please let me know. I want to do more to support these brands and give them shine and share their products and things. It is important to me that more people are aware of it. And, I have a fairly big audience, and I want to make sure that people are aware that there are people out there who are skaters who are trying to make this themselves. Anyway, last couple of questions. If anybody has any questions, it is 11 o'clock, so it is a 2-hour show. It looks like I had a little bit of packet loss, but very little. So hooray for the stream. Thank you all for showing up. I really appreciate you. Johnny5 needs input. Quick question. What do you think about 3D printed skates? We already had that one, so that is where I ended up. Rygar, it makes me a It takes me a couple hours to print a single frame wall to spec. Maybe look into Corey printer or turning the current printer to print faster, the same amount of quality. So I haven't dialed in my my printer in a while. When I do a frame wall, I'm using a 0.6 nozzle, and I don't print super fast. But since they are usually for sale, I want to make sure that the quality is high. It takes about 22 hours for most of the frame walls. If there is a way to do that faster, I don't know it. I'm using Creality CR10 printers, I think. They were cheap. I do need to upgrade my printers someday, but I haven't. If you have recommendations, I would love to learn. Send me a message on Instagram or wherever. But yeah, I think that the printing technology has gotten to a point now where I can't keep up. It's amazing. I'm really, really happy with it. But yeah, I still don't know that it's ever going to be at a point where it's better for production than injection molding. But it is a great option out there if you want to play around with something, or if you want to try something. Definitely for prototyping, it's the best solution. But good feedback. Let me know if I need something, and if I'm missing something, or if I can do something better. Always willing to learn. Johnny 5 needs input. Oxygen 1.1 hold up really well. I've been skating my pair for 4 years now. I mean, yes, they were bomb proof, right? That was their whole thing. I don't know if I would ever recommend anybody skating their Oxygens now. I think that the Oxygen skates were what they were. I mean, they're a very dated skate. The design is just, kudos to you for being able to still skate them and make it work. I have a pair here somewhere. Yeah, they're way up there. They're big old skates. So yeah, if you're still skating them and enjoying them, more power to you. I don't know how many people out there had them. I guess they're still fine to skate, but I wouldn't recommend it. I think you're going to have a difficult time enjoying skating, I guess. I don't know. They aren't even UFS. Ugh. Yeah, that's a tough skate to recommend. I still think that they would be better off on your shelf with a picture of you doing a rocket fish brain or something. Rocket Macchio, I guess. All right, one last one from Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. Thanks. Appreciate you. Hope that everything is great. Hope that you have a good event in 2 weeks. Windy City Riot. Is it end of July? I think end of July. Windy City Riot's coming up. Make sure that you go out there if you're in Chicago area. Windy City Riot Instagram, place to go. Learn more. Thank you all for showing up. I had a really good time tonight. I hope that you learned something. I hope that I was able to share something. I do enjoy doing these. I don't get to do them as often. I want to make sure, and this is just me, but I want to make sure that it's not just me showing you all the cool stuff that I'm working on, that I can actually have a topic. And the topic should be the main focus. So when I've noticed that people were coming back into blading, I always like doing that video that talks about the new stuff and what's changed in rollerblading. That is a topic. If I were to get a new pair of skates, that would be a topic. If we were releasing a new skate or something like that, that would be a topic. But I don't like just talking about my skating and what's been going on. I feel like the vlog is for that. So if you have ideas for topics, I'd be more than happy to chat. I have plenty of stuff here and plenty of information that I can share. I feel like with 137 episodes, I've kind of covered everything. But if there's something that I can get more in depth, or if I can do an update on that's an idea, a topic that's on your mind, please let me know. I love doing these. I run out of inspiration sometimes. Anyway, hope everybody has a great July 19th. July 19th is Windy City Riot. Thank you, Jeff. Hope everybody has a great evening, great day, great week. Happy Juneteenth. And I will see you all again, maybe in 2 weeks, maybe in a month. I'll see you all next time.